Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. Trying something different here on something to think about. I'm going to do late night in America. Um, Doing it live and wherever you may be watching, we thank you for doing so. I'm going to just kind of stall around here for another minute or two, or a few seconds here anyway. A lot of stuff that we can talk about, but if there are things that you'd like to talk about, by all means, join the chat. And if you have a question, you have a concern, you have a comment, let us know about it. Go ahead and hit the like button sometime as you're watching, please. And again, we just give a few more seconds here and then we'll kind of get started. Reason we're doing this is because I know a lot of people don't watch regular television anymore. I'm one of them. Very seldom do I watch something on TV. I've got some favorites that I still watch, but most of the time I don't watch TV, and I know a lot of people don't. So we're giving a late night alternative here on the various platforms, and thank you for tuning in. So I'm going to get started here. We've been talking, if you've watched the channel before, we've been talking about what's been going on up in Akron, Ohio. And actually about 10 minutes ago, the protest broke up in Akron. And they had been going, we'll show you some footage here coming up from Maxwell Mitchell in just a few minutes. But we talk a lot on here about keeping your head on a swivel, about situational awareness, about being in crowds and potentially being soft targets. And that happened, unfortunately, last night in Akron, Ohio, where they were protesting for Jayland Walker, Journey Tolbert, a 4-year-old, and her father. Her father passed away today, and 40-year-old Johnny L. Gator. All three have been killed, and they're still searching for suspects. Someone fired into the crowd, and we talk about a lot on here. Just another example of how wherever we're at in this day and age, wherever we are, we have to know our situation. We have to have exit strategies. We have to keep our head on a swivel. And it's sad that we have to do that, but nonetheless, we do. And I'll hop over here into the chat. Hey, Summer, how you doing? I'm going to put the link up here if you want to come on in a few minutes and talk for a few minutes if you'd like. I'll put the link up here in a couple of minutes. I got some stuff to talk about real fast as far as what's going on in the world. I want to start out. We keep an eye on a lot of things here, including what's happening with the sun, because the sun is potentially very dangerous to us, especially when solar flares and coronal mass ejections are possibly on the horizon. And as you can see here, one of the major masses is indeed starting to point directly towards Earth. So we'll be monitoring this as things move forward, and we'll let you know if anything's going to be heading our way that's potentially dangerous. And a couple other things I want to show you here just real quick. These are the current volcanoes erupting on land. Okay, there are other volcanoes that are erupting underneath the ocean that aren't necessarily shown on this, but these are the current number of active volcanoes. All right, now we're going to switch real fast over to the earthquake monitoring, just to show you something here. Okay, the areas where earthquakes are prominent at the moment are some of and many of the same areas where volcanoes are going off. No 4.0 or higher earthquakes in the United States in the past week. So good news there. Okay. I'll jump on tomorrow if you go live. I'm getting ready for my come. Okay. Thank you, Summer. Thank you very much. Yes, hop on live tomorrow night if we're on, or next time you see us on. Much love and stay safe. Keep your hubby and your kids and your community safe, as I know you always do. So again, if you're just joining it, it's a new thing. We're trying this out. Late night America. Going to try it this is our first episode, and we'll try it a few weekend nights and see what happens. Just like I said, a lot of people are looking for things to watch, and sometimes the only thing live on YouTube is like, sleep noises and things like that. Anyway, and this may put you to sleep too, but hopefully not. So don't hesitate. Hey, Smoke Wagon, how you doing? Don't hesitate to hop in the chat if you got, and if you want to join, and I know who you are, I'll put the link up, and you can hop on the program for a couple of minutes. I'm looking at possibly doing something where when we do these late night shows that people can call in for a couple of minutes that don't want to get on the program. So it's, as always, it's just something we're thinking about. So let's go ahead and show some things here. I want to go to this first. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. 4 stabbed in Shanghai in a very shocking incident. I showed this for 2 reasons. It's rare that you see some kind of violence coming out of Shanghai because of their police force and military are so oppressive. And I also wanted to bring it up because I wanted to remind all of you that there's another lockdown going on in Shanghai, and there are lockdowns going on in other areas of China, and the supply chain will probably be disrupted even more than it already is, and it already will be. We've talked about that on other episodes about how we're about we got about 3 months supply. And once that 3 months, that 90-day supply is depleted, that's when you'll see things really go up. And that's when you'll see shelves starting to really empty. And especially if the supply chain keeps getting disrupted. And with what's going on around the world, that's a very distinct possibility. I don't like this software because I got to come back and forth instead of just going through one to the other. One of our subscribers, and thank you. And if you're not a subscriber, consider being a subscriber. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. Doesn't cost you anything. And of course, hit the like if you would. Somebody asked about they had heard of a power outages in Canada, and this was at 1700. Nothing extreme, nothing nationwide. almost 8,000 in Quebec, which is a fairly large number, 3,000 in Alberta, but no sign of any major outages in Canada. And the sources I checked hadn't reported any. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, but to answer the question that one of the subscribers asked, it doesn't appear that there were some significant outages in a few of the provinces, but it does not appear that anything happened on a major scale nationwide. Now, Canada was without internet most of the day yesterday, and credit cards couldn't be used, debit cards couldn't be used. Of course, the internet couldn't be used, cell phones couldn't be used. Very inconveniencing to the Canadians, as that event was pretty much nationwide. And it's kind of I don't know, I was going to say foreshadowing, but I wouldn't, I don't know if it's necessarily foreshadowing to us here in the United States, but it's a reminder that a lot of the things that we take for granted, electricity, the internet, being able to go to the store, having gasoline, being able to use a credit card, all those things are very vulnerable and very susceptible to disruptions, both the nefarious kind and the natural kind. If you're just joining, thanks for watching. This is something to think about. It's ADC, that's the platform, American Doofus channel, and I'm your host for this Late Night America program. It's our first episode of Late Night America. We're going to try this on the weekends. Again, we're doing it for those that, like to watch things and don't watch television anymore. So this time of night, I've kind of found that my man Delta DEFCON, what is going on? All honor to you, my friend. Glad to see you up in the chat, and hope you're healthy and all your family and pops and everybody that I know you care about. Hope everybody's well. We're just kind of doing this. We're trying this out because I kind of noticed that there weren't a lot of options to watch if you're not into TV and you're watching, strictly online. Parias, how are you? Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you all for watching, wherever it is, what platform you're watching on. We're going to touch on some things here. We're going to touch on Akron, Ohio. We kind of started out with that sad news. If you're just joining us, a 4-year-old little girl, first name's Journey. She was killed last night, as well as a 40-year-old. They were protesting, and the little girl's dad died this morning. All three of them. There were shots fired into the group, and it's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last time. But again, it's a reminder to all of us that situational awareness is not just something for police officers and soldiers anymore. It's something that we as citizens have to have. Sadly, when you go to the grocery store, you got to think, okay, if shots start being fired, where do I go? Depending on which direction the shots are fired. If you're sitting at a concert, okay, shots come from behind me. Where do I go? How do I get out of this mess? How do I get out of this crowd? If you're anywhere, church, sadly, it doesn't matter. We all have to always be situationally aware. And it's not like I'm harping on it. It's like, public service announcement. Sadly. Smoke Wagon. Toby and Kelly, nephew, thank you all for watching. It is horrible, Smoke Wagon, and I hate reporting on it. But all it's done in Akron is just made them that much more determined, if you will. They protested throughout the day today and well into the night. Like I said, everything broke up about 10 minutes ago. I was anticipating leading off the program showing live footage of what was going on up there. And Maxwell Mitchell from Louisville, Kentucky, who I think is an artist when it comes to live streaming, is up there. Frank Nitti Jr.'s up there. So there are, there's some legitimate streamers up there that have credentials, if you will, have credibility, and then there are others that are just finding out, that it's necessary to document things, and a lot more streamers up there tonight after what happened last night. And let's just go ahead and pop on a little bit of what Maxwell was showing just a little bit ago. And again, this is a live stream, and these are people that are protesting. Whoa. These are people that are protesting. You see the guy. This is the equivalent of pouring one out, and I think that probably crosses all community lines. You're pouring one out for those that are no longer there. Okay, I mean, that goes back to the moonshiner days. So anyway, just because it shows this champagne explosion, if you will, they're not celebrating the death of Jayland Walker or the people that were victimized last night as well. And again, they're still looking for suspects as to that shooting, but a peaceful protest monitored the whole thing, and they disrupted traffic, a significant amount of traffic, or disrupted traffic for a significant amount of time, and not far away from downtown Akron. Police were monitoring the whole time, had a helicopter overhead, and no incidents, no broken windows, no fires. Akron wasn't burnt down. All the things you're going to hear on the non-independent channels, the channels with agendas. Our agenda is the truth, and it doesn't pay much, but the truth is always necessary. And that's what we try to do here is we don't create drama. We don't challenge other platforms. We're not accusatory. We're not trying to divide anybody. We're not trying to, do anything other than show the truth, give you something to think about, and let you make up your own mind. Here's a little bit of what was happening probably 40 minutes ago.
On Facebook Live right now and someone's spraying champagne in the street.
This is in the what's known as the Highland area of Akron, and this is Ray's Bar. an area with several smaller bars. This is one of the larger bars in the area, from what I've been told, and a well-received protest in front of that establishment. Again, they blocked traffic for a significant amount of time, but it was, just inconvenienced people and made people aware of the outrage over the treatment and the situation, not only in Akron, but across much of our country.
Jalen Walker.
Now, if you've been watching this channel for the last couple of years, you've probably seen the lady you just saw walk through there. Her name's Crystal, and she is she's a documentarian. But she has an agenda. She is an advocate as well. I'm an advocate of the truth, and I have sympathy, support, and understanding of a lot of different issues and a lot of different communities. But when I'm on here, and if I'm, George Floyd is the prime example of, I was not unbiased at all in the coverage of what happened with George Floyd. But there are times that there aren't two sides to a story. Most of the time, that's what I try to do. I try to show, I try to show balance, true balance of showing, things you don't see on other platforms, and showing it on a, in a basis where you get to see more of the story. And what happens in Akron isn't going to be reported fair and balanced in most other situations, most other platforms, and especially not in mainstream media.
Are you asking like us or like crowd too? I would have to say somewhere between 300, 350.
By the time it was over, there were about 500 cars. People just kept joining this rolling protest throughout the night. They were on the streets marching all day today, as were people in Washington, D.C., and Minneapolis, Minnesota. People on the streets all around the country for various causes.
No peace. I can't hear you. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace.
I'm going to play a couple more minutes of this. Then I'll hop back over into where the chat's at. If you want to see more of this, if you want to see an extended view of this, let me know in the chat, and I'll play more. But otherwise, I'm just going to play a couple of minutes. Then we're going to go on to a few other things.
People know what happened to Jalen Walker. It was massive. So no matter if you're in the street, no matter if you're in your car, people know it was messed up. Our street. 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 We were here earlier, and it just got destroyed. These Highland tribes. Justice! Now! And they're China don't get it! Shut it down! And they're China don't get it! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
Okay, gonna pause that there for a minute. Let's hop back over into the chat area, say hi to anybody that might have joined. Hello to everybody that's joined. If you just started watching, this is the first time we're doing this late night America on the ADC, the American Doofus channel platform. Our show's something to talk about. This is or something to think about. I guess tonight, maybe we'll change it to something to talk about as we move forward. We're going to try to do this late night on the weekends, simply because there's not a lot of other things to watch, and hopefully we give you some good content. Bullhorns, umbrellas, and skinny jeans. Here it goes again. I remember people asking me if I, because I'm a white guy, but I got kind of unique lighting than what we normally do. Normally it looks more like this. Hello, everybody. But I thought we'd have a little different lighting for the late night show, and I may even get guitar and bass out and record an opening for this show. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I remember, golly, we're going all the way back. We're going back to Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. And the number of names. I saw somebody's comment on Maxwell's page there. The number of names that have been added since that time. Anyway, yeah, I've got a lot in common with a lot of different groups, and I think that's the way it ought to be. I think that's what America was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be as divided as we've always made it be. And we, meaning the white population, are responsible in a large part for so much that's gone wrong in this country and in the world. Because let's be honest, as America goes, the rest of the world goes. If we fall, United States falls, the whole world's gone. And there are a lot of people that want that. A lot of people that want a new world order, that want an oligarchy ran world where the richest people are the decision makers, and you'll own nothing and be happy about it. It was one of the sayings that came out of all this, all these meetings of the wealthy of the wealthiest of the wealthies. So we should have a lot more in common with a lot more people than we do. But I've been covering the 1776 restoration movement. They've got Proud Boys in there. They've got, I'm going to go and I'm going to go and show you what people inside that movement have said about the movement. Now, with all that being said, I agree with some of the things they're trying to get out. The idea that our government needs reform, that more attention needs to be paid to the people of our country, that we need secure borders, that we need the Second Amendment. I mean, my gosh, it's becoming more and more obvious that you ought to be carrying a gun because everybody else is. I mean, that's an over exaggeration, but you know where I'm getting, you know where what I'm trying to get to, I think. More and more states are constitutional carry state. Means you don't have to have a permit as long as you're of legal age, whatever that may be. Some states it's 21, some states it's 18, some states it's age is based upon what kind of firearm you're trying to get. Some states you have to have a permit to conceal, but you can open carry. There are a lot of different versions of it, but what it all boils down to is we got a lot of guns in this country. And that's why I keep telling people to have your head on a swivel, because things can break out at any moment, anywhere. Tensions are so high, and you don't want to be at a gunfight and not have a gun. Something to think about, anyway. All right. Hello, Fred Coldart. Fred, I saw you last night, and I was monitoring WikiWigs. And I was monitoring him, and I saw you in there, and you got to be a subscriber, and I subscribed, and I forgot to say hello to you after I said whatever it was I wanted to say in there. Bullhorns, umbrellas, and skinny jeans. The bullhorns were all over the place in Washington, D.C. for a lot of different reasons today. The Women's March, which we showed predominantly in our other live this afternoon as it was happening. And we cut over and showed what was going on in the 1776 movement. Again, I agree with some of the things they're saying. But having sex offenders. Well, let's just. This is why I could never be a part of that movement. Now, this doesn't show you. I mean, there are many other reasons. There's bigotry. There's things we've shown on this platform that has gone on there. And here we go. Sex offenders, pedophiles, child abusers.
Their children are.
And again, these are people within the movement. So, while I agree with some of the things, even if I agreed 100% with their entire philosophy, which far and away do not, I could never be aligned with an organization that knowingly is running a camp with kids at the camp. And we got that footage too, but that, any organization is going to have people in it that aren't who they say they are. But once you find out who they are, you can't leave them in your organization if you want credibility. And what this movement is trying to do is get credibility within the patriot movement, if you will. And to me, a lot of the division in our country's because of Trump. And if Trump would go away, and we might be able to bridge some gaps and talk amongst communities about the fact that we got a lot more in common. We got all the same goals. We got a lot of the same frustrations. But anyway, just something to think about. And again, thank you all for watching. Hang in here. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. If we've shown you something or something that you haven't, if we've given you something you're not going to see elsewhere, hit the like button. And I'm going to get back to the comments in the chat and see if you want to see more of what happened up in Akron tonight. But I just want to play this brief little clip to show you why the 1776 movement will not grow into what I actually feared it would grow into. And I feared it would grow into something that would set our country ablaze. Here we go. It's from a site called Behind the Mirror.
Because our children are our future. And I do believe that this is what most of us are in the movement for our future generation.
This man, David Riddle, has allowed in a level 3 sex offender and a child molester, a convicted child molester. They both have given excuses why they're not guilty. Government set them up, but that is not good enough. You cannot let a level 3 sex offender and a convicted child molester live in a commune in a parking lot with women and children.
Diddling each other, touching each other, whatever.
And again, this comes from the site Behind the Mirror.
Diddling each other, touching each other, whatever.
Told last night by D that that was all my fault. He's gonna run me out of here. So
What?
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I slept outside the property. I'm done playing games. You know what? Yeah.
It's
That's
not.
what I came for.
It's not your fault.
No, I know it's not. It's drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
It's called methamphetamine.
Yeah.
And alcohol.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what I had told the police last night.
I'd have called the sheriff. There wouldn't even be kids out here no more.
Right.
They'd be in Child Protective Services. That's where they'd be at. You don't do that stuff, man.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
So that gives you a look inside that movement that we've been watching. If you watch this program, you know that I've been talking for a few weeks about, hey, there's this group that's, and I know where they're camped, and they're gonna go in and try to occupy Washington, D.C. They've been there for 4 days now. 3 days. Actually, we're into Sunday, the 10th of July. So 4 days now. And as long as they don't get in a group of 25 or more, then they are not an unlawful assembly, according to their interpretation of things. We'll see how long the Capitol Police, the DC Metro, and the Park Police, Homeland Security, we'll see how long all that goes on. I'm going to get back up here. Bullhorns, umbrellas, and skinny jeans. That's the Antifa modus operandi, I guess you'd call it. Hey, sissy. Spatial tempora. Sundial grateful. A short poem. Please bring both Becks to justice. There are reasons people volunteer in which have nothing to do with helping others. New York University professor abusing his daughter since childhood. They shot him in 1992. Echo returns in shape of a magnetic tape. The creator is vast and does not know time. Grateful. We can't. Those of us that have a faith in a higher power, the Most High, God, Allah, Yahweh, whatever term used, the vastness. There's no way of imagining the vastness of the Creator, the Almighty, the Most High. Thanks, Toby and Kelly. The lighting is unique and like it. All right, cool. Both Beck father and daughter in front of Congress. Uproot was ideology, kills communities and vulnerable individuals. Okay. Let me get down here. Running through the comments. Thank you, Sissy, for everything. Boom, boom, boom. I don't have tense. It's just I had to take these supplements because I get something else going on, and my hair started getting blonder. But I don't. It's not tinted. 100% Black Rock. How are you, Ryok? How are you? Running through the chat here. I disagree with the Trump comments, but these ass bites allow pedophiles in their movement, shut them down. That's not what patriotism is. Yeah. And we can, we can agree to disagree. The one thing I always say is, if you want to know how bad Trump was to a lot of Americans, Joe Biden beat him. And, if it had been anybody else but Joe Biden, or I'm sorry, if it had been anybody else but Trump, Joe Biden, and look where we're at. I honestly, again, those of you that watch the show, I honestly didn't think Biden would last 6 months. I didn't think the Washington D.C. establishment would allow him to last 6 months. I thought he'd be forced to step aside, but he just keeps getting, I don't know. He just keeps getting more and more ineffective. And, would things be different now if Trump were president? Absolutely, they would. But how? In what ways? Some might be good. Some might not be so good. We'll never know. But one thing that we can all agree on is that we love our country, and to me, that's what being patriotic is. That's what being a patriot is loving the country, despite its flaws, despite its inequities, despite everything that should be changed. It's still better than anywhere else in the world. We still have that promise. I don't know for how much longer, but we still could make this country into something that worked for everyone, as it should, and as I believe it could. But everything keeps dividing us, and and we allow it to happen. there are some, you know, I had a great childhood. Oh my gosh, I grew up and I was poor, but um, I played outside from, you know, once I ate my bowl of Cheerios until it was so dark that, you know, everybody else had already gone inside, and nobody ever worried about somebody driving by and stealing kids or mass shootings or drive-by shootings or drug overdoses or a lot of things that were different. And there are those that think all we got to do is go back to that time. If we go back to and start behaving the way, you know, and we, you know, force you to do these things that's how it was done in 1950, even though I wasn't born in 1950, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. There are those that cannot live in 2022 and refuse to adapt and refuse to have any kind of attempt at understanding or assimilating or being willing to change. And then you get those on the other spectrum that just want to destroy everything. So we're very divided, and I think it's intentional. And I'd really like to have conversations with more more people on each side. You know, I think that the more we talk, the more we share ideas, the more we see that, yeah, we do have a lot more in common than just the fact that, you know, we as Americans can talk about America. We can talk about the flaws and the weaknesses and the inequities and the abuses and everything else. But we all kind of come together if somebody else starts talking crap about America. We're kind of like a family in that way, you know, like it or not, we're all connected, we're all tied together. And it's not just America, it's humanity, in my opinion. But again, that's, you know, an even more divisive concept. Russia on the brink of collapse, right? Putin about to be overthrown. No, I really don't think so, JB. In all honesty, I think the United States has put a whole bunch of money into Ukraine, and we might find out that we're not getting talking about this. So probably, you know, I've tried to be on my best behavior with YouTube so that my channel doesn't get banned and all my streams don't get taken down. And because anyway, we're not supposed to talk. There's censorship going on. All right. You can talk about this stuff, but we're not going to promote your channel or, you know, monetize it because they don't want us talking about it. And the mainstream media is not talking about what's happening over there. So that makes me suspicious that things could not be going as well as we might be led to believe they're going in Ukraine. Again, because of people just not being allowed to talk about it or being dissuaded from talking about it. I've had a lot of people that haven't been able to reach out to me where those of you watching, I was getting stuff minutes after it had happened. So I kind of wonder. And plus we did an episode on, and if you hadn't seen it, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. We did an episode on secret weapons that Russia's had since the 1950s and have obviously continued to develop, and how we might be the laughing stock in that we spend a lot of time laughing at how Russia's using antiquated equipment, but come to find out, maybe a lot of that equipment has been repurposed into a much more destructive means than anyone might have known. And we talked about the Georgia Guidestones the other night too, and I didn't think there'd be any way that would get suppressed, but something in there was not agreeable to have advertisements put on it. So again, telling the truth doesn't make a lot of money, but it needs to be done. Yeah, I kind of think that too. 100, I kind of think that too, that Russia is, they're not in any hurry to, they're not desperate, in my opinion, from what I have been seeing. And I've been seeing some stuff out of Israel, as we talked about too, and we're still monitoring that. There was a delicate balance between 1991 and 2013. There very much was, and I was very active in the political scene during that time period. And for those that don't know, you can Google it. I ran against Mike Pence, the former vice president of the United States. I ran against him 3 times when he was in Congress in Indiana in the 6th district. Obviously, I had a much different look, but actually played one of my speeches on here one night in an episode. I might do that again in one of these late night things when, there's not a lot of other stuff going on. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. Russia could pull on their population for a vast army if they so chose to. Knuckles, man, it's like everybody popping on here. And it's good to see all of you, man. It's good to see everybody out there. All of you, thank you for watching, no matter what platform you're on. And we're going to keep expanding the platforms. We need to stop giving stuff to Ukraine. We've spent more money in 5 months than the first 5 years in Afghanistan. See Russia spending billions of rubles rebuilding the Donbass like Russia did in Chechnya after leveling it. If you get involved in a proxy war, which I kind of viewed, those of you that have watched the program for a while, Chris, we've had Chris on the program more than any other guest, and it's always a great episode when he's on. And we've been talking about this since 2 months before, 2 months before Chris was saying, hey, watch Russia. And then, 2 weeks before the invasion, Chris and I did an episode where we were both in agreement that this is going to happen, while the majority of the mainstream media was going, oh, there's not going to be an invasion. Russia's just doing a military exercise. Everybody calm down, including the leader of Ukraine. So yeah, we monitor this stuff. We keep an eye on things. And I feel like I've been blessed with my experiences, blessed with being able to get some education. And I kind of feel like everything I've done has brought me to the place where I can talk about a lot of stuff that's happening now with a bit of authority, not a as far as just giving knowledge, not as far as giving commands. Okay, we just give you things to think about here. Okay. Yeah, still not rocking skinny jeans. No, man, I can't do that. I did when I was playing rock and roll, to be honest with you. Had the, the cutout knees and the patches and yeah. Anyway. So what do you think? You want to watch a little bit more of what was happening up in Akron, or I can just kind of pop onto YouTube and just pick a video that we can kind of react to. Yeah, no skinny jeans. I didn't think Russia was going to invade since Putin allowed status quo in Donbass for 8 years. I was surprised. Also, I have a hard time trusting U.S. intelligence, especially after Iraq, Afghanistan. Honestly, we were getting some things through some sources, and I still do with Israel. But I was getting some stuff through some sources in the beginning that I think we might have had it, if not at the same time, very shortly after U.S. intelligence had it. Skinny jeans for skinny people. Yeah, nothing wrong with skinny jeans. I mean, if you look good in them. But it's the black bloc, the skinny jeans, the black hoodie, the black umbrellas, the megaphones, and I imagine we'll see more and more of black bloc as the summer goes along. We'll see more and more. We'll see more and more. We did the episode the other night. Zoomer, bloomer, boomer, doomers. I really like that idea. It's not that I like I like the analysis of the concept of those personalities that have kind of developed after 9/11, because 9/11, only a couple of decades back, but really changed our country and it changed the world. I think everybody can be friends. Well, I take that back, because there's some people that I don't wish them dead, but I don't even want to be in the same state, let alone same house or at the same table. But the majority of us could be friends. The majority of us could rally around the things that we all agree on, or the majority agree on, and that we have in common, instead of looking for or not addressing the things that divide us. Yeah, it's an Antifa thing. Yeah, I got it. And sadly, we are heading towards a hot summer. And that's how we kind of opened the show, with Summer Dickerson on here, and Hot Mess Summer Dickerson. And Summer's an incredibly brave woman, got an incredible story if you don't know who she is. And we're going to have her on here very soon. And anybody else that's, anybody in the chat, I've been going for about an hour. That was what I was planning on going. So let me know in the chat. Should we do these things should we do a late night show on the weekends when Nothing's going on. I thought we'd try it for an hour tonight and tomorrow night. And then next weekend, we'll do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And, we'll see. We might expand it to 2 hours or an hour and a half, or, and try to have a regular schedule if people think that it's something that we should have. All right. Thank you, JB. The abortion rights people just tell everyone to vote harder. It's sickening. All right, guys, just stopped in. Thanks for stopping in, Knuckles. All right, man, we'll do it. Yes, it'd be a great show late night. Okay, Sissy, thank you. All right. Well, I'll tell you what then. I'll go ahead and close this one out, and we'll do it tomorrow night. Well, we'll do it, actually, it'll be Monday morning. Let's do it midnight on Sunday. We'll do it at 1 a.m. on Friday, 1 a.m. on Saturday, and midnight on Sunday. So, all right. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for watching. I love you all. I'm serious. I do. Blessings upon all of you. Those with no faith, those with the most stiff collar faith, from one extreme to the other. I love you. We're humans. We're all fallible. We're all frail. We're all connected. There's only one race, the human race. We need to get past either get past the bigotry. And the way we do that is by accepting the beauty in each other, And I'm not talking about physical beauty necessarily, but man, there's so much more we have in common than that which divides us. And the basic part is that we are all human beings. We all bleed the same color. We all have the same feelings and emotions. And a lot of us just want to live in peace, be left alone, and have a better world for our kids and grandkids. And we're not succeeding. Something to think about.